Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from Triathlon Business International. We are brought to you by Babbittville.com, EnduranceSportsWire.com, RacePlace.com. Our next guest, the president of Ashworth Awards, Mr. Dan Ashworth. Danny.
Hey, Bob. How you
doing?
How
the heck you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
We're not in Kona. What the heck?
Hey, the weather's just as nice, though.
It is pretty nice,
You know,
huh?
we're going to be getting a blizzard in Boston tomorrow, so I'll take the weather.
Yeah. So, Dan, Ashworth Awards, family business.
Family business, 50th year.
50th year.
Mm-hmm.
And were you involved with the business growing up?
You know, I worked in the factory when I was a kid, and you know, I really learned the ins and outs of the business working in the factory.
And what type of stuff were you making back then at Ashworth Awards?
Back then, we primarily did service award programs for corporations, lapel pins.
Okay.
You know, you work for a company for 5 years, you get a pin.
Gotcha.
We were strictly 100% corporate America back then.
So it wasn't consumer, or not, you weren't
It was not
with
athletics at all.
Nothing.
It was all corporate.
All corporate
You know, airline wings, that type of thing.
Okay. And when did you get involved? And when did you get more involved?
I got more involved as, you know, part of the actual business when I got out of college.
Okay.
My dad was struggling. It was the late 80s, bad recession, and all he did was corporate service award programs, and that's the first thing
people cut. Yeah.
That, you know, gold was $800 an ounce, which was crazy then. So, you know, that was the first thing they cut, and, you know, I got out of college, couldn't find a job because it was bad recession.
Yeah.
Went to work with my dad, and the rest is kind of history.
So while you're working for your dad, you're probably looking at the business going, I think we could use a little help here.
Yeah, I knew that we needed to go in a different direction. We needed to go into an area that was funded by the person that was getting whatever we manufactured.
Yes.
Not that they're going to buy it directly through an event or a road race or, you know, any types of sports where it's organized and they're getting an award at the end. Because I knew we wouldn't survive if we didn't go a different direction.
And were you a runner at that time?
No. No. I was had just met my wife now.
Yes.
I worked out. I did not run. I mean, I did the weights and all that.
Sure.
My wife was a runner.
Yeah.
I started running and doing triathlons about 10 years ago. So.
But did you look at these running events? How did you decide to immerse yourself in this world?
Well, we had the Boston Marathon contract since 1983, so my dad was doing that already.
Okay.
And then it was like 300 medals that we did for the Boston Marathon. And I really looked at that account and said, this is something that, you know, might have some legs. We can work with this because, you know, at that time there were not that many events, road running events, but there were major marathons.
Yes.
So we started going after some of the major marathons and then some other major sporting events like U.S. figure skating, which is one of our larger accounts. We had to go into those sports that were 100% funded by the athlete.
And were you the guy going in and doing the selling?
I did some of the selling. My dad did a lot of the selling.
Yeah.
I would kind of point him in the direction. He would
go close
some of the deals.
And when did you feel like you're starting to turn the business around?
We started turning the business around seriously about 10 years ago.
Okay.
The year my dad passed away. We really started getting a lot of traction in endurance sports. Everybody was giving away medals.
Yeah, because it used to be the only people who got medals were people who were like won the race or maybe top three, but
got on the podium. That's right.
All of a sudden,
but Boston
changed that.
Started doing finisher medals.
Oh, they were the first ones.
So then everybody started doing finisher medals.
Yes.
Yeah, Boston gave finisher medals to the top, say, 1,000.
Yes.
That was it.
Right.
And then they went full blown.
Everybody. And that's changed the world of running. I mean, in terms of, you used to get, you had to check a box and pay extra to get a cotton shirt. Then you got eventually a tech shirt. And then when they started doing medals, I think that was instrumental in the growth of the sport.
It definitely is, because that's your achievement in a race.
Yes.
I mean, you get your T-shirt when you finish.
Right.
I mean, when you sign up and when you register, you get your medal when you finish. When you cross that finish line, that is your achievement.
Right.
You go home and hang that on your doorknob like I do, and that you don't get it unless you finish. And that you've made a goal to finish a marathon. That's how you show it. You know, you show your pride. I did it. I accomplished my goal.
In this day and age, we've got Ironman, we've got Ironman 70.3, we've got Challenge, we've got obstacle racing. There's so many variety of events out there. The one common one thing in common is they all give medals now.
They all give medals.
Yes.
If you don't give a medal at your event,
Your second-rate event.
Yeah, you're not doing justice to your athlete, because the athlete experience is not going to be complete.
The other thing that I think has been a big change in the whole medal industry has been the ribbon. It used to be the ribbon was just this red, white, and blue thing that hung the medal on. Now it's got names on it. It's got sponsors on it. It's a big part of coordinating the medal with the ribbon, and that's a big part of the achievement.
Exactly, and it's a powerful selling tool for the the director, because they can go to the sponsors and say, we have all this real estate we can put your branding on.
Yes.
The medal is their achievement.
Right.
It has to go on a ribbon. We might as well put your logo on it and help us pay for the medals.
Right.
And reach out to that audience you want. And I mean, it's really helped with medals, because now some races can afford the medals.
Yes. The amount of unique medals. I mean, I was in your booth the other day. You've got a disco ball in there in one of the medals. We've seen wine toppers. We've seen beer taps in my medals.
Yeah.
And thank God I'm not racing. Great event. Make sure you come. How has the medals themselves changed over the last number of years?
You know, they used to be just round, very standard medals that might have a logo in it. And we just started taking it to the next level with custom shapes and, the bottle toppers, the beer openers, making them a little useful.
Sparkles,
a lot of glitter, translucent, stained glass color fill. We're doing full three-dimensional round medals.
Wow.
We just did, like, the Green Bay Marathon. It was just a full three-dimensional football. I mean, what we're doing on the tooling side to be able to make the medals is pretty outstanding.
Pretty crazy. Where do you see this? Where do you see the business going? I mean, give me an idea how many medals you guys are making a year. Any idea?
3 million?
3 million medals.
Yeah, for all various events.
Right, but, all sorts of different things. Is the biggest part of your industry marathons, triathlons? In terms
Marathons, triathlons,
yes.
That's a big part of our core business. But we still have a presence in corporate America. We make all the pins for the Olive Garden restaurant chain, all the flair. So,
Yes.
I mean, I never lost that.
You kept that and expanded.
And expanded. So we have, one thing I really learned from my father was we have to be extremely diversified in what we do.
Yes, because if gold
one thing slides, you can go in another direction.
What do you see for the future in your industry?
There's definitely a lot of competition popping up, and a lot of companies that were probably in the same boat that we were in the 80s, that were in corporate America, now with the recession that just happened, are looking for new markets. We manufacture in the States. We do have a factory overseas as well, but we manufacture in the U.S., and we have invested a lot of money in technology to bring the manufacturing back. We want
to the U.S.
To the U.S.
So people can get their medals from the U.S.
Made in USA medals. We're the only ones in this space that manufacture.
In the U.S.?
In the U.S.
Wow.
So in 2015, it's going to be a real Made in USA push for Ashworth.
Love that.
If we can get a couple of Boston's medals are all made in the U.S. If we can get another major marathon to switch to Made in U.S., I think we're really going to get a lot of traction.
So you aren't just sort of like the guy who, I bought the Remington Razor because I was a fan because I used it. You're a triathlete, right?
I am.
You've done the number of Ironman.
I've
How many
done
Ironman
two.
races done?
Done
two
two.
Ironmans. And your wife is a dedicated.
Yeah,
Ironman.
she's done 4 Ironmans, and she kicked my butt in all of them.
Yes, and she doesn't let you forget that.
No, I've accepted it.
But what is it about? I mean, has that helped make you better at what you do because you're a participant yourself? So when you got the feeling of someone putting a ribbon around and a medal around your neck.
I understand the value of the medal because an Ironman is not an easy feat.
Yes.
And I cross that finish line and I want that medal. Put that medal around my chest. Pride.
Yeah.
And that medal is hanging on my doorknob.
Yes.
Just like everyone else. But I know that's my medal. Out of the 3 million we make, that's my medal.
You earned that one.
I earned that medal.
And when you go to Kona and you see, because you obviously go to a lot of events, but you go to Kona and see people after that, Saturday after they finish the race and see them wearing is there a better feeling?
It's awesome. It's great. We shake everyone's hands, congratulate them, give them a hat, an Ashworth hat.
Do you really?
Yeah. It's a huge sense of pride for our company and our organization.
When you meet new race directors, and you've been in this business a long time, and if they ask you for insight, what do you tell them?
We try to tell them that how important that medal is, because
Yeah.
a lot of them, it's the last thing they think of.
It's true.
You know, we got to get registration. We have to get a shirt company. We need a timing company. We need barricades. And then, unfortunately, sometimes they wait to the last minute to get their medals. And if they come to us, obviously, we can perform because we manufacture in the States.
Right.
I mean, because it's very expensive to airship from the Orient here.
Sure.
But, you know, we try to let them know, be very proactive, you know, order early. The medal is so important to the athlete.
It's everything.
It's everything. I mean, you can have a great event.
Yes.
And a very bad medal.
Oh, hey, I've been there.
And you know what? That's all they're going to remember.
Yes.
That they got a really bad medal. You can have a very bad event and a very great medal, and all they're going to remember is that medal was awesome. I'm going to go back and do that event.
I remember doing some races, and they basically hand you like a miniature coin thing on a string, and you're going, "Oh, dude, come on, what the heck?"
And you know, another reason the medal is so important is because there are so many events now.
You got to separate yourself from everybody else.
You have to separate yourself and use it as a marketing tool for next year, because what do you build your business on? Repeats and referrals. You give them a great medal, they're going to come back.
Right.
And they're going to say, hey, let's go do this race. You should see the medals. And, you know, if you don't give a good medal or don't give a medal at all, they're going to be like, well, next year on this weekend, I'm going to go do this other race.
Right.
Because I know they give a good medal.
That's cool. What's your favorite medal?
I love the Boston medal, obviously.
Yes. Has that changed much?
It has changed shape and size over the years, but they're very traditional. So
right, so it's still a smaller medal, but it means a lot.
It's bigger than it has been in the past, and they have a new modern unicorn in the middle. That took a while to get to, but the Kona medal, without a doubt, every year.
It's pretty special.
Yeah.
And you put a lot of pride into making that one.
Definitely.
And hearing back from Diana Birch, the race director, that you hit it out of the park.
Yeah, we love it. Because we start from the whole concept of the poster,
yes,
all of it, and we transform that into the medal. So it's a lot of fun.
Love it. Hey, and thanks for all your support of CAF, the medal you did last year for 20th anniversary, with not only glitter, with the size of a mobile home. You know, which I call it a pledel because it was a combination of a plaque and a medal.
Pretty much.
The thing was gigantic. That meant the world to me to have something, because I always felt our medal didn't live up to the event.
Right.
The 20th anniversary and the one you did this year for 21st meant a ton. Plus what you've done, thank God I'm not racing.
Yep, that's always a fun one.
Then we got Tripalooza coming up, and you did the trophies for that.
That's going to be excellent.
I can't wait.
It's going to be a great event. We're glad to be associated with you.
Thanks for all your support over the years. You've been awesome. It's great to have you in the industry. Dan Ashworth has been our guest. Hold on, everyone. We will be right back.
Thanks, Bob.